Hello and welcome back to another episode of my team career mode. As you can see, we're going to start today's episode by signing a new teammate. Christian Lundgaard has not been good enough. He hasn't got any points for me. So we are going to go after Antonio Giovinazzi. I've said it a few times in recent episodes, and I think it's about time we go for him at the first opportunity that we can do so. And fortunately for him, today is the Italian Grand Prix, so he'll be racing his home Grand Prix at a brand new team. I think, as you can see on there, he's much better racer than Lundgaard. He's got 80 rated. It's going to cost us around 3 million base salary and 1.5 million buyout. I'm going to go for a small bid here against Alfa Romeo and see what they respond. It's under consideration. Oh, they've bid it again. We'll bid again 3.12 million. I mean, the small bid is basically the large bid now. But finalising deal, and we win. We have a new racer. Hopefully he'll do it better than what Christian Lundgaard did. Right, I'm going to go get some practice done. Then we can jump into some qualifying. As you can quickly see, I'm just putting on the old components for the engine as I normally do for practice. I've run through practice pretty simple. I've sped it up just so it doesn't drag. It's a bit boring, this practice sessions, but it's better than actually racing it itself. I like this year. And yeah, let's jump into qualifying and see where we can finish. Well, qualify. Right, as per usual, I'll show you the best lap of each qualifying session. We're on our second lap. I think this is my second run. Oh no, it's my first run in Q1. As you can see, I'm almost 2 tenths up on my time. I've got Bottas behind me. Trying to get. That's not Bottas actually. Who is that behind me? It might have been Bottas. I'm not 100% sure. We go minus 3 tenths up as we go around that corner, and we lose a tenth on the exit, which isn't great. But that's going to put us P. We're going to stay in P8 for the time being. As you'll watch Giovinazzi go around the final bend. Is that the Parabolica? I'm not 100% sure. I wonder where that's going to put him. I'm pretty sure it puts him around 16th. Let's have a look as he crosses the line in 17th. Right, here we go with our own qualifying lap. Lap 4 of Q1. What can we do to make sure we stay heading through to Q2? We're currently P13, so we have got a good enough time so far, but obviously with everyone still yet to do a run or even 2 runs, we're not guaranteed to go through. We're up on our time a little bit. I'll skip to the end of the lap to see what we do. We cut that chicane a little bit. We didn't get a warning, which is good. Right, as we come through the second sector, we're a tenth up on our time. Don't know what that chicane is called, but we almost run wide into the gravel. We managed to hold it together. We're 3.5 tenths up. Can we hold on to it and make sure we go through to Q2? Again, we lost some time there. We also make it back on the exit. We're going to go through the finish line at 4 tenths under nearly, and we do beat our time, and we make it through to qualifying 2. We get through in 14th. Bottas is on provisional pole, but it doesn't really matter. Lando Norris in 3rd. Who else would we look at really? I haven't scrolled down to see Giovinazzi. Maybe I'm saving it. But let's have a little look. We're scrolling down now. Giovinazzi is he's out in P17. Christian Lundgaard actually through in P16. Right, this is going into my 3rd lap in Q2. Can we push to see if we can get through to Q3? Obviously, we've done quite a few laps in qualifying today, so I will be cutting this to make it as short as possible. 6 tenths up on our best time so far. I don't think we had a good run through the first and second lap. As we come around the corner, we're 1.2 seconds up on our time. Can we make it to Q3? Well, do we? We don't. We qualify 15th. One position ahead of Christian Lundgaard, which is perfect. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Oh, we've got rain.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, Lance Stroll, the owner driver, Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nikita Mazepin. And now it's time to head down to
Right, let's see how we can get on in the race. As you can see, we set off, we've got Fred red lights and away we go. We've got a great start. And it looks like one of the Red Bulls has spun. Max Verstappen has spun and is out of this race. Oh my god, that is a big crash. Okay, so this is on board Checo Perez, actually Max Verstappen, who does just lose it. I think that's Carlos Sainz that crashes into him. It might have been Charlie Leclerc. Lance Stroll is also out of the session. This is Lance Stroll's perspective. This is one of the biggest crashes off the start, or off the get-go. Lance Stroll is out. He crashes into the AlphaTauri. Let's have a look at one of the Ferrari's perspectives. Who, I don't know if he's out. I don't think that Ferrari was out of the race, but it was a big crash. As you can see, that's us. We got through, luckily, like scot-free. A VSC has come out. That does change to a, as you can see, bits of front wing flying everywhere. That does change to a safety car, as you would expect. For some reason, Ocon ghosts because there's a car stuck on the hairpin there. So we do manage to move up to 5th position. Russell is in 7th with 5-second time penalty. A bit strange. Giovinazzi's in 6th. Russell, Ricciardo 3rd, 4th, and then the Mercedes in 1-2. Right, safety car has come in. Norris goes for a dive bomb on Danny Rick. We trying to brake really quickly behind the McLarens. There's a yellow flag behind us. We're going to ignore it. I'm not sure what it is. It's going to be very difficult in these conditions. We're going to let Giovinazzi through. Team orders, because he's going to have more pace than me on his home Grand Prix. I'm going to try and hold up the slower racers behind whilst we almost go into the back of him. He's going to try and catch up for a podium. I said I've probably got the pace to outrace Russell, and if Russell keeps DRS on me, then Vettel's not going to overtake him around here, that's for sure. But yeah, Giovinazzi's already gained 1.2 seconds on us. So there is no DRS. I meant like slipstream and DRS, but it's alright, doesn't matter. As Vettel goes for a move on Russell, who, as you can see up the top left, has fallen out of the top 8. Vettel goes for a move on us. We're going to try and defend it. We're going to brake later than what he can brake as we go into the second chicane on the lap 6. We managed to hold on to P6 so far. Vettel again gets past us. We're going to go for a cheeky little dive bomb up at turn 1. We're going to brake later than he is, and we just managed to squeeze him out. As you can see up the top left, Giovinazzi is 4 seconds up the road from us, but Ricciardo has gained 5 seconds on him. As we look at a little replay of our move up the Aston Martin. No contact was made, so it was a clean move.
We're expecting the rain to hit us anytime now. This rain
And now again, Vettel's going to try and make a move on the outside of us going into the final corner. We're going to push him wide if we can and get the power down, going down the main straight as we are into the pits. We've made a very late decision on that one, and we are going to go on to mediums. We saw late, I wasn't really talking about it because I didn't have time to respond, but we saw late that the AI cars were going into the pits for slick tyres, so we managed to do it. Vettel's jumped us in the pits, which is strange. We didn't have a slow stop, but we are on the medium compound of tyre. This is the same lap as we came out on our tyres. Vettel has gained just over a second on us on that lap. I think it was probably like half a lap too early to go in for slicks, but you can't really not if everyone else is, as we almost drift around this final corner. We're going to try now to catch up with Vettel. Giovinazzi 7 seconds up the road. That's probably why we took so long in the pits, actually. It's because we double stacked, didn't we? Like lap 12 now. We're setting our personal best lap. We actually beat it by 8 tenths. And as you can see on the mini-map, there's a McLaren ahead of one of the Mercedes now. I think it's Danny Rick. As we're battling Perez. Obviously DRS is enabled now, so he will have DRS as we almost run wide and into the gravel. We set another fastest lap at a 1:22.135. It looks like Perez is actually pitted now. He obviously was doing a 2-stop. Now we've got Charles Leclerc behind us, who obviously had a very poor start to the race. And Esteban Ocon in P9. We're going to go into the pit on lap 20 for a set of soft compound tyres. And then we're going to try and chase down the points if we can. We have to do it. Most of the AI went onto hards from the wet tyres. We went onto mediums, which in hindsight was a mistake. If we'd have gone onto hards, we definitely would have finished in the points. But now we're gonna have slick tyres, and we'll be able to chase down Lundgaard and Perez if possible. As I said, Perez did pit for a fresh set of medium tyres. As we go with DRS up the left-hand side of Perez, who's making a move on Lundgaard. We almost go 3 wide, and we managed to make a double overtake on lap 21. With 6 laps to go, can we catch Kimi Raikkonen on those old, hard tyres? That's a great move for us. Great awareness from Checo Perez as well. Right, lap 26. We didn't quite manage to catch up with Kimi Raikkonen. We are in P11, so at the moment we're out of the points, which is disappointing. We've got 1.5 laps to go. We're not going to gain 5 seconds on Raikkonen, so doesn't look like we'll be getting any points today. Those should have gone onto hards from the inters. I didn't really think about it at the time. I just, if you remember, I just dove into the pits as quick as I could, just to avoid missing out on that half a lap where the track was dry. Right, so we finish the penultimate lap. We're on 1 lap to go.
This is your final lap.
We've got 5 seconds to Raikkonen. We've got a good lead to Perez. 3 seconds on the Red Bull. Like I said, there's 11. We're 11th out of 16 today. With what's that? 6 DNFs. 6 DNFs at the start of the race. I don't think anyone else has DNF'd. Lewis Hamilton crosses the line as the race winner. So we all have to miss that sausage curve. As you can see, Lewis Hamilton here picking up another race win to add to his collection. He must have the biggest trophy cabinet. Right, as you can see, there's a yellow flag up ahead. What has happened up ahead? Who is out of the race? I'm on board with Giovinazzi on the last corner of his home Grand Prix. And he's just lost it. He's just lost it. Giovinazzi is out of the Italian Grand Prix in the first race for South Blues Racing. The only good thing about that is that we now move up into the points, but it's not great. Giovinazzi is out of the Grand Prix. We move up to 10th, but I'd rather have got his points in 5th. So that's why I let him through. There's another yellow flag where Giovinazzi went off as well. Looks like it's a Williams driver. Please tell me he's not done the same thing. On the last lap... Oh my god, he has. On the last lap, the same thing's happened twice, but it's not happened in 27 laps. How does that happen? Giovinazzi and George Russell do the same thing. We come across the line in 10th. We get another point for the Constructors' Championship. And obviously the Personal Championship. As Kimi Raikkonen gets Driver of the Day. Join me for the next one.
They made great use of the clear air today then and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
A reliable car, that was the most important factor here. This was a real battle of attrition, and you could tell those at the front were trying to find a balance between running their outright pace and taking care of the car to reach the end.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Kimi Raikkonen is my standout today. Nothing you could construe as showboating, just an incredibly consistent performance out on track.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.